It's time for breaking eggs.
This is Matt Green, Senior Associate Director of Athletics for Internal Operations at Flagler College, and this is Breaking Eggs. Welcome, everybody. Happy to have you with us. I'm joined this morning by two very special people, one member of our athletic staff and one outstanding student athlete. So I'll turn it over to them right now for them to introduce themselves, and we'll start with you, Alex.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Alex Namofsky. I am the assistant men's and women's golf coach here at Flagler College. This is my second year working here, really enjoying it so far. Originally, I'm from a town just outside Toronto, Canada. I've been living in the States now for about 8-9 years. And I have a pretty extensive college golf background. I played at a junior college just outside of Orlando my freshman, sophomore year. Transferred to Coastal Carolina, played 2 years there. I ended up at Lee University for my COVID year, played there for 1 year, and then I came back to be a graduate assistant coach and completed my MBA. And that's kind of how I got into coaching. And I ended up here with my first full-time assistant coaching job, so very happy.
So I'm Baptiste Mercier. I'm a sixth-year senior. So I'm from the south of France. So it's my second year as well here at Flagler. I started in JUCO as well. COVID hit first year, and we get 2 years of extra eligibility. So that was amazing, and that's the reason why I'm here, because otherwise I would have been done. I do 2 years over there, All-American doubles the second year because we didn't have nationals the first year, so it was great. And then I get to transfer to a D2 program in Cameron University in Oklahoma, do well over there, and then get the opportunity by coach to, get here. And, we had all the students from Cameron that came here, and he had a lot of success as well. So it was an example for me, and I heard a lot of good things about Flagler. So I decided to come here, last year, right away, finalist of the regional tournament, and then win the national championship in singles. So it was great for the program, for the school. I was very happy to do it with Flagler. It was a great thing. Become number one in the nation, then player of the year. But the most important was what we did as a team. And unfortunately, we lost in the final in the NCAA, so it was very close. But very happy here, and so that's my last semester here, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I agree. We wish we had you a lot longer. That's for sure. Well, thank you both for those intros, and you both have had unbelievable individual success in your short time here, and we'll talk a little bit about that later on. But first, you both are sort of like transfers, right? You are a transfer, and you came over from another D2 institution. And so in that process, you trying to find a job and you trying to find another place to finish out your tennis career. What were the things about Flagler and the St. Augustine community specifically that really drew you and made you want to come here?
Yeah, well, I've always loved Florida. My family and we always went down to Florida, during the winter months growing up to play golf and stuff like that, visit our grandparents, this and that. So I've just always loved Florida. When I was transferring from my junior college, Seminole State, Santiago Cavanaugh actually reached out to me, and he tried to recruit me to come here. It didn't work out at the time. I ended up going to Coastal Carolina.
Wait, you said no to Santiago
I said
Cavanaugh?
No. Can you believe that?
How can you say no to Santiago Cavanaugh? No one says no to Santiago.
I know. It was actually kind of a funny story because when I was at Seminole, we played in his home event, the Flagler Slam here, and he had the dinner set up in the dining hall and stuff like that. So I remember when I was a freshman, oh, what a beautiful dining hall, this and that. And then when I came down here in the summer of 2023 to have my interview and everything, he took me on the tour of the campus. We went back in the dining hall, and it was kind of like a full circle moment. So that was really cool. But yeah, I guess I kind of have the same sort of background as Baptiste. I was also an Division II All-American my fifth year of college. I brought my team at the time, Lee University. We went to the national championship for the first time in their school history, which was really cool. And then I was able to come back and coach there again. And then, similar backgrounds. We've transferred a lot, come from a different country, both, I guess, French-speaking countries. So I've actually never met Baptiste, but I've heard a lot about you and your success. So it's nice to be able to have this little conversation today.
And Baptiste, you probably had your pick. I mean, you were an outstanding, obviously, junior college player, outstanding Division II player in your own right. You graduate from Cameron. You have your pick. So what was it about Flagler and St. Augustine?
So as I said, we had the Oscar that came here and that played like great for Flagler. And when it was time to go on the transfer portal after Cameron, I talked to a couple of schools and every time I would tell my friends, American friends, that I'm talking to those schools, most of the schools, they were like, where is it, And when I was saying about Flagler, they would say, oh, it's in St. Augustine, right away. And I'm like, what's so special about it, And then I got to discover online a little bit, and then I had my official visit, which made it I was like, wow, okay, now I understand why, It's a pretty European kind of town, which it's amazing with incredible downtown. Which I was not used in the US, and coach obviously he had so many success. We own him a lot because what he has done so far is all he does is breaking records so far. So that's incredible, and so Flagler was pretty obvious at the time for me to come here. So.
Well, we'll stick with you. It's funny you say, all you did was have to look it up and see it and fall in love with it. I did the same thing. I got a call from somebody I used to work with about a potential job opening here and had never really heard of St. Augustine, which is probably crazy to think of now, but looked it up online and saw a few pictures and said, yeah, that's a nice place. So
it is.
So I get that. So we'll stick with you, Baptiste. You talk about breaking records and all those sorts of things. Well, the men's tennis team did that last year for sure, and you were a big piece of that. So you mentioned a little bit about the ITA Cup. So for those people who don't know, in the fall, our tennis athletes will compete in the ITA regionals. It's a singles and doubles competition. But if you progress to a certain level, you'll advance to the ITA nationals, which are in Rome, Georgia. And essentially, it's just the best players in the country playing against each other. And so you actually won that. Mm-hmm. And you were the first Flagler athlete to win an ITA singles national championship. You were the number one ranked player going into the spring. You were the co-player of the year in the Peach Belt Conference last year. And our men's tennis team advanced to the NCAA national championship match, the first team in Flagler's NCAA history to reach a national championship match, which was awesome. And we're so close, 3 games away from winning it. But can you talk a little bit about what that experience was like for you individually first, all of those individual accolades that came, but then also being part of a historic run as a team, what all that meant to you?
So individually, it was very strange, I would say, because, I go to Cameron. I'm about to be done with college because I was like, okay, I'm graduating. I will go back home, and never really ranked. Not my senior year doing well, but not ranked at all, not even in the top 75. And then I go to Flagler with just the expectation of working hard and, day by day, not thinking about not having any expectations besides, trying to do my best. And I go to regionals and I'm like, okay, first round, first round, I'm about to lose the first round. It was crazy when we talked about it with coach. And, but once again, I'll, every time I'll, take it back to my team, I'm about to lose. I'm a set and a breakdown in the first game, and I have teammates that come because it was the way the setup of the court was a little bit different than we are used to, and I didn't have a lot of guys with my team, so that's why it was important they came, supported, and without them I would have lost this match 100%. And coach had a great impact also, and then take match after match, and I'm like, oh wow! At some point I'm in the semis, and I beat Columbus, which I know the rivalry here, and I like it. It's great, and then play against Jacopo, my teammate in the final. He played incredible. Hats off to him. It was. The level that he produced that week was crazy. And I said it to him at the end of the match. I was like, if I had to lose one match this fall, I'm so proud it was against you. It's if the only guy that was able to beat me in that tournament was my teammate, it's great. I think
it's great, yeah.
And it was a weird experience for coach because, obviously in the final, you're like, I'm not going to coach anybody, So he advised us to, like, nobody was able to cheer, to not make it because he was a senior against a newcomer. So he didn't want it to make any difference or any kind of weird fight in the team. So I think we handled it well as a team because it was not easy, to have two guys that are playing at, high level and fighting for the spot. But it was a pretty healthy relationship that I had with him regarding to that. And then you head into the nationals with zero expectations. I went to the ITA Cup in junior college, which is not as good in terms of level, with all respect to JUCO. So I had an idea about the place, but I win my first match, and I'm like, wow, it's crazy. And then second match, I play a friend of mine, from Lubbock, and I'm like, wow, I beat the guy that I was never expecting to beat that guy. And then I play, the legend Taco, who, that was the only year that he lost. He won all 3 years that he was there. And the only year that he did bad was in the semis and lost 7-5 in the third against me. So it's not, that bad of a result. The guy is very consistent. So couldn't even realize that. And then, go to the final and beat the player that ended up number one in the country at the end of the year. That was supposed to go to Tennessee at some point. So that was a great player, So, but I played very good. Coach was there the entire time. Coach Brian as well. The assistant coach was, very supportive the entire time. And then heading to the spring, it was very difficult because then we were like, how can we do? Because I'm the number one player in the country, and then you're like, it means I cannot lose a match, right? And I start playing two at some point. And I'm like, okay, so if I lose a match, I'm done. And then we had to do a little bit of work with coach on, how to approach that, because then you're like, I'm the number one in the country, but I'm number two in my team. And it was good that coach helped me on that, and the teammates were around, so I didn't, because ego-wise it could be a little weird, But we handled it very well. Then we go as a team. We have a very tough loss against Washburn, and I think that has changed everything from that point on. We were playing great, but we lose that match because of the mentality that we had as a team, and that got us close together. And then we go win the conference. We took it, match after match. We were like, okay, we won the regular season one time in the history. Let's do it, And then, okay, we go to the conference tournament. We're like, okay, a lot of expectations from some people. Match after match, day after day, match, every single game. And then that's what we did, and it was great. And going to the nationals, beating Columbus again in the semis, which was amazing. And lose very close to Valdosta, but it was a great team. We couldn't, we were very proud of it.
It was an exciting match to watch, and you mentioned Columbus. We beat Columbus 4 times last year, all the way from home, which is unreal to go 4-0 against that caliber of opponent in our conference. You mentioned the rivalry;
Mm-hmm.
it is strong. So
it is.
What a year! And Alex, same for you. I want to look at my notes to make sure I get all this right. I'm going to try to do it without looking at my notes. But for the women's golf program, which has been perennially one of our top programs, but has never ascended to the level that you guys did last year. And so you won 5 tournaments, which was a school record, came close to winning a few more. Obviously you win the Peach Belt tournament or the Peach Belt championship, kind of running away with that one. You get to regionals, finish top 3, which gives you an automatic berth to the nationals, which you're the first Peach Belt Conference women's team to reach the nationals, which is unreal to think about. Then you don't just get there as you're in your first time and just play. You get there and you're in first place after the 54-hole stroke play, which gave you the number 1 seed into match play. And you have 3 nationally ranked players right now. They were all on the team last year. They're back and ready to go again. But talk a little bit about that journey, because it's kind of neat. You took Lee to the nationals for the first time as a player, and now to do that at Flagler as a coach. Talk about that journey that you went on last year with the student athletes.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was an incredible run. We do have our 3 superstars, Jordan, Henriette, and Stella. And not just them, but the whole team, the whole culture of the team. They're very driven. They're very competitive. If, they get to work, they put their head down. They do their drills. They do their practice. if they go to a tournament and they don't win, like they are upset about it. So that's really nice as a coach to have that and not have to like motivate them every single day to want to win and work hard. So they have that on their own. But yeah, going back to Lee a little bit. So yeah, as a player, we went to nationals for the first time, which was awesome. I have to give a ton of credit to my head coaches at Lee, which was John Maupin and Giandra Almeida. They both have a lot of accolades in and of them, in and of themselves. So I learned quite a lot from them as a player and as their assistant coach. Got a lot of experience traveling with the Lee men's team as well. They're national champions. I think they won in 2022. And then again, the next year when I was coaching, they went to nationals again. So I learned a lot. So I kind of had the experience already being like at the national tournament. So I understood how it worked, how the match play brackets worked, stuff like that. So that was nice to have last year going in with the girls. But yeah, so when we won conference with the ladies, we went to regionals, and regionals was actually at my home course at Lee. So that was a huge advantage, I think, because I played that course like every single day when I was up there. I knew how the greens broke. I know where to hit it off the tee, stuff like that. And it's not a Florida type course. It was very much like a northern course. It was different from what the girls were used to playing. So I think it helped a lot that I knew the course well. But yeah, I think I have to give a lot of credit also to Santiago. He's a great coach. He's a great person as well. He treats all the players like family. He treats me, I would say, very well, like his daughter. He's also, not only is he like a hard worker, but he's fun to be around, and he's super organized. And I learned a lot from him this last year and a half, and I'm really excited for the spring to keep going with him.
Well, y'all make a great team, that's for sure. I know he's really, really happy to have you on board, and you made such a huge difference for that program, both of them, the men's and women's programs, both looking really good this year. So we only have about 3 or 4 minutes left. So, want to kind of talk about, the fan support. So for anybody that wants to know our schedules, all athletic schedules, they can go to flaglerathletics.com and you can find the schedule that you want to see. But we really encourage people to come out and watch our tennis matches for sure. They're right here downtown. Nice, easy place to come and walk to. And we also encourage people to come out and watch golf. We actually host a lot of tournaments each year in the fall and in the spring. And we actually open up in St. Augustine. Our first 3 golf tournaments are in St. Augustine. We host 2 of them. One is hosted by another institution. But if you both could just talk about what it means to have people come out and support you as a student athlete, you as a coach, and what your student athletes feel about that.
Yeah, it's actually honestly really special when people come out and watch our golf tournaments just because we're so far away from campus. Like we don't have our facilities right there. So when they actually make the drive and they come out and watch, obviously golf is not the most fun thing to watch. So when they actually take the time to come out and walk, and wait and watch and stuff, it really means a lot. And I know personally my players, both the men's and women's team, they love watching tennis, so they love going to your games, which is really nice to see that you guys support each other. So, but yeah, we have our first event at St. John's starting Monday, hosted by LMU, and then we got our women's home event at King and Bear the following week, and then the next week after that, we have a men's D1 event that we're playing in, which is also at King and Bear. So it's actually really nice to have 3 events at home straight in a row, which like never happens in college golf. So.
And Baptiste, you guys are heading out to Indianapolis for the ITA Indoor Nationals for the 3rd or 4th straight year, which is a great honor, but also a great opportunity for you.
It is, yes. I was not used to it in my previous school, so the fact that we constantly make it here, it's amazing. So you get to see how the best teams are, and all in one tournament, you play 3 matches guaranteed, no matter what, which is great. And yeah, regarding to the fans, it's we have a very good relationship with golf. We get along very well. We spend a lot of time together, and we obviously gonna come out for whenever they play home. I know it will be on a Monday and a Tuesday, from what I remember. They told me, so we'll manage the schedule. Work around it and come. And they come to our matches. It's amazing. And this year we'll get to host Barrie, San Leo, and Columbus. So those are 3 big matches.
You have an unbelievable schedule, and you guys do too. I mean, the first women's tournament you host, I think you have 10 nationally ranked teams in that tournament field. So a lot of great competition coming here to St. Augustine, which is fantastic. So we have 30 seconds left, about a minute left. So just really quick, in 15, 20 seconds, what do you both expect from yourselves personally and from your teams this spring?
So we are not thinking about what we did last year. We're just gonna take it, match after match, as I mentioned earlier, and work every day and see where it takes us, because that's how we thought last year. We were not expecting anything. We just did the work each day, and we'll see how far it gets us.
Yeah. I would say same thing for us. We always tell the girls, we really like to reiterate, like, you guys are so good. Just do what you keep doing, not trying anything super special or anything extra like that. So, but they have the same goals that they always have, which is to win every event they play in and ultimately to win the national title. So we're just keeping them focused on that, making sure always boosting them with confidence and keeping things positive.
Well, awesome. Well, I just want to say on behalf of the Department of Athletics, we're extremely proud of both of you. We wish you all the best. Baptiste, man, this is your last go around.
Yes.
We want you to go out with a bang, make more history. And Alex, year 2, we're excited to see what happens with you and the women's golf program. So thank you all for coming on this morning. Thank you for what you all do for Flagler Athletics and how you represent us.
Thank you,
Matt.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. This was the Breaking Eggs podcast.